Chat Sports, and today, before we jump into the latest San Francisco 49ers news and rumors, we're trying to get 100 new subs by people watching this video alone. So if you're not subscribed to the 49ers Report, scroll down, click the red subscribe button. That way, we can keep bringing you guys the best coverage in terms of our 49ers during the free agency period. If you're brand new to the channel, we have done a crazy good job here at Chat Sports covering everything that's happened with our 49ers. So, I have appreciation. We'd greatly appreciate you if you go ahead and be one of the 100 new subscribers. We're going to go ahead and get on this video. Again, red subscribe button down below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. All right, let's go ahead and start with the wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders, who really seems to be the last domino that needs to fall in the 49ers offseason. There are some other moves the Niners technically could make, can make, and might make, but Emmanuel Sanders is the last big name that remains unsigned. Now, the question, of course, is how much money is Sanders trying to go ahead and get? The reports are between $10 and $15 million, so probably right about the $12 to $13 million a year range, and San Francisco so far has not been able to pay that or has not wanted to pay that, as of course, other teams are now interested in Emmanuel Sanders, one of which was the Dallas Cowboys. That one seemed to be one that popped up the other day. Dallas, of course, re-signed Amari Cooper, so maybe the need for Emmanuel Sanders is not that great, but again, they have the cap space to go ahead and do it. San Francisco, after all the moves they made, the cap space is very, very limited. They can still go ahead and sign Sanders. It might take a couple more tweaking moves here and there, so possibly on the horizon, this deal could get done, but at the same time, with the 49ers going ahead and getting that number 13 overall draft pick with the trade with the Colts via DeForest Buckner, maybe that kind of leverages this whole contract in the 49ers' favor over Emmanuel Sanders. Maybe they go, listen, Emmanuel, we can just draft a wide receiver at number 13 overall and pay them pennies on the dollar compared to what you're wanting right now in free agency. Sanders is 32 years old. We know he was very, very good last year for us. Good. I say good, not great. And I've said before here on the channel that I would rather let him walk and just get younger at wide receiver. But again, we got to see what they're going to do over the next couple of days. But I want to go ahead and present the idea that San Francisco is probably looking at drafting a wide receiver at number 13 overall. Now, we know that the trade with, of course, DeForest Buckner resulted in us getting number 13 overall, meaning we have 2 picks in the first round, 7 in total. And the best wide receivers in the draft, we'll throw those up on the screen right now, are expected to go right about between 10 and 15 in the first round. Jeudy from Alabama, CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma, Henry Ruggs from Alabama, Tee Higgins. You got other ones like Laviska Shenault, Justin Jefferson. There are a ton of very good wide receivers that'll go in the first round, but if you're at 13, then most likely you're going to be able to have the pick of the one that you want, because there are a couple of teams kind of drafting around 13. Obviously, the Raiders are there. The Jets are at 11, so they might take a guy like Jeudy, but any of these guys, Jeudy, Lamb, Ruggs, and Higgins, are going to be on the 49ers draft board, on the 49ers big board, and they could go ahead and get selected at 13 overall. So really, and actually, we'll throw through, you might have seen on your screen right now, picks 10 through 15, Browns, Jets, Raiders, Niners there at 13, Bucks, and Broncos. The Broncos need a wide receiver. The Browns don't really need a wide receiver. The Jets and Raiders do, though. So you kind of take the top wide receivers, and then you kind of figure you're going to at least get one of Jeudy, Ruggs, or CeeDee Lamb. One of them will probably be there at number 13 overall. So I want to start today's video talking about Emmanuel Sanders, saying that, yeah, there's not that much of an update, besides the fact, of course, that the Dallas Cowboys are reportedly interested. Philadelphia might be interested as well, as they need a wide receiver. They have a lot of money to go ahead and do so. There are a couple teams you can kind of plug and play Emmanuel Sanders into. I don't think the Niners are the front runners right now, but if they lose him and he goes, and again, depending on when you watch this video, maybe he's already been signed, I want to give you guys an option to go ahead and look at the draft, because number 13 overall, like we just talked about, is the place to really be. I mean, backside of the top 10, really front side of the teens, right? 10 to 15 is the place you want to be for one of these top wide receivers. They're calling it the best wide receiver draft in NFL history, so hopefully that makes you feel pretty good about the Niners' chances of going ahead and filling the Emmanuel Sanders hole if he were to leave in free agency. Okay, quick ad break here on YouTube. I want you guys to pick which wide receiver you guys think is better, Jeudy or Lamb. Let me know in the comments section down below. There's a pinned comment. You think Jeudy from Alabama? Think CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma? If it's neither of them, tell me the one you guys think would be the best fit for our 49ers. All right, moving on. Some other news that happened today. Let's call it changing of the guards. The 49ers have released Mike Person, who, of course, has been battling a neck injury late into last year. He was costing a decent amount of money. They're saving about $2 to $3 million by making this move, and it means Daniel Brunskill, who filled in for them at the guard spot last year, is probably going to be your starter going into 2020. Now, the Niners also made an additional move. They went ahead and signed Tom Compton to a one-year deal. He spent time with Kyle Shanahan when he was the OC both in Washington and in Atlanta. He's played with the Jets this past year, so he's very familiar with Kyle Shanahan, although it's looking like he's probably going to be a swing interior lineman, meaning a backup to Brunskill, and that could come in if they want to bring in some extra bodies in sort of goal line or short yardage situations. But they made this move, and now your projected starting lineup looks kind of like this. You got Staley at the left tackle spot, Tomlinson at the left guard, Ricksburg at the center, Brunskill then will be your right guard, as it was basically in the entire postseason, and Mike McGlinchey there as your right tackle. Now, San Francisco, again, will throw up their total amount of draft picks. They got 7 total. Number 31 overall now becomes an interesting spot to either go get a D lineman or maybe even an offensive lineman, maybe even an offensive tackle, because you got to remember, with Brunskill coming in there and you bring in Tom Compton, you figure the guard spot's going to be okay this year. Staley, for all we know, is going to be playing at left tackle. He's signed, where I think we got to stop assuming that he's going to retire. I think he is going to play for our 49ers. And if you trust Justin School, then maybe you go D-line at 31 overall. But if you don't trust Justin School, then maybe you go offensive line as well. And then the Niners could come out of the first round with 2 picks, 2 offensive selections, and trying to help out, all centered around helping out Jimmy Garoppolo in his, I guess, second full season, because he played 16 games last year. Second full season campaign as we try and march our way back to the Super Bowl. We have a mailbag video coming up later this week, probably this weekend. So if you guys want to get your questions in on the show, you want to ask any question that you want, use the hashtag 49ers in the comment section. That way I can find your question. That's why we use hashtag 49ers. I can find it, and then we'll grab it and pull it for the show. That way you guys can get your questions on the show. A lot of you guys get your questions on the show every week. If you've never had your question on the show, let me know after your comment, and then hopefully I'll be able to go ahead and grab some new questions here from new subscribers on the channel. Also, there's a really good deal at a 49ers polo that's happening right now that I just really wanted to share with you guys because I'm thinking about buying it. Chatsports.com/49ers polo. Link is in the description down below. It's what, 30% off right now? Less than 30 bucks. Gray with a Niner logo. It's like the perfect golfing polo to kind of tuck into your khaki pants and go hit the clubs at the driving range. You look great doing it. Again, chatsports.com/49ers polo. 30% off right now. It is less than $30 you see on your screen. I might pick it up, so I wanted to go ahead and share that with you guys. The link is in the description. Final bit of time we have together here in the 49ers Report. I just want to kind of recap all the moves that we have talked about. In case you're just joining us, first-time subscriber, first-time video. The 49ers, again, started off with a bang. They gave Eric Armstead $85 million in his contract extension. They traded away DeForest Buckner for a first-round pick to the Colts, which I love as a move. We talked about that whenever it happened earlier this week. And then, of course, they re-signed safety Jimmy Ward, who was the 6th best safety according to Pro Football Focus. All those moves for me, A+ for our 49ers. We'll throw up some of the other moves San Francisco has made. They have a 1-year extension to Sean Coleman, who will probably be a swing tackle, a backup to Joe Staley. But again, maybe he gets some starting time if Staley gets injured or, is struggling because of age or whatever it is. They restructured Jerick McKinnon's deal. It went from paying him like $9 million this year to like $920,000 this year. A great move there by San Francisco. It's a crowded backfield. They've tendered Matt Breida, so most likely you're going to have 4 or 5 running backs going into the draft and into camp. Don't be surprised if they trade one of those guys away later on in the offseason. They obviously released Mike Person. They re-signed Ronald Blair. They've done a couple of other smaller moves, but these are the main big ones I wanted to recap with you guys here. The big one to me, obviously, is Buckner. I'm telling you guys, if you don't understand how important the number 13 overall pick is in this draft, a very talented, very, very expensive draft to go ahead and try and move up in, it's just fantastic. San Francisco went from having 1 pick in the first 2 days to now having 2 in the first round. They could really take 13 and move back into like the late teens or the early 20s and acquire even more day 2 picks, or actually add to their day 2 picks as well. So overall, San Francisco has done a fantastic job. Like I said, A+ from me. I graded all their moves yesterday in the 49ers Report. I could not have been more pleased. I don't think any 49er can be upset with what we've done, especially coming off of a Super Bowl loss. You want to try and reload, not rebuild, and of course San Francisco has done that and more. They're going to get younger, they're going to get more talented, more athletic, maybe a younger wide receiver, a younger O-lineman, D-lineman, whatever it is going to be. The 49ers have had a great offseason. I wanted to share my thoughts with you guys on that overall. Final question here, and I really want to know, which move do you guys like the most? In the comment section down below, which move out of everything San Francisco did? I want to hear from you guys because, I mean, the Buckner one, You like Armstead? You like Jimmy Ward? I mean, which one do you guys like the most? I think Jerick McKinnon's restructuring is a sneaky good deal that a lot of people are not going to kind of recognize or talk about. But alas, I won't comment down below. I want to see what you guys have to say here in our 49ers video. All the time we have for today. Again, mailbag video later on this week, so be sure to get your questions in down below. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott as we go ahead and sign off. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.